Do you find English poetry hard? Well, today I'm going to show you how you can make that really easy with just one part of literature. Hi guys, my name is Tulani Ndambo and today we'll be doing English paper 2. Okay guys, so like I said, today we'll be doing English paper 2. So with English paper 2, I'm going to be doing 2 poems, one modern poem, with regular everyday English, and then one Shakespearean poetry, which I know for most of you is really hard. Okay, so the first poem I'm going to be looking at is called An Abandoned Bundle, and that is by Mbuyiseni Oswald Mtshali. Okay, we'll begin. So I'm going to read the poem right through only once, and then we're going to answer the questions, and then I'm going to explain a few things just so it is easier for you to understand and how you can actually look for poetry. So I did say that in order to do well in your poetry, you need just one part of literature, and that is always figures of speech. If you understand figures of speech, you will know everything about poetry. So things like metaphors, similes, personification, and sometimes dehumanization of something. Okay, so let's begin. I'm going to read through the poem now. An Abandoned Bundle. In the morning mist and chimney smoke of White City Jabavu flowed thick yellow as pus oozing from a gigantic sore. It smothered our little houses like fish caught in a nest. Scavenging dogs draped in red bandanas of blood fought fiercely for a squirming bundle. I threw a brick. They bared fangs, flickered velvet tongues of scarlet and scurried away, leaving a mutilated corpse. An infant dumped on a rubbish heap. Oh, baby in a manger, sleep well on human dung. Its mother had melted into the rays of the rising sun, her face glittering with innocence, her heart as pure as untrampled dew. Okay guys, so you've heard me read through the poem, so now we're going to answer the questions. So question 1 says, refer to lines 7 and 8. Line 7 and 8 says, it smothered our little houses like fish caught in a nest. And then they say, explain what the word caught conveys about life in White City Jabavu. Okay, so guys, we already know that this is a sad poem, right? So now we need to understand what the word caught means here. So as it says on the poem, it smothered our little houses like fish caught in a nest. So what this means is when fish are caught in a net, they're basically unable to escape. They're trapped. So that's what this means here in this context. So the people of White City Jabavu feel caught in their circumstances. The first stanza of the poem says that there was mist in the morning and there was chimney smoke, and the smoke flowed like thick yellow pus oozing from a gigantic sore. So if you can picture a place where there's a whole lot of smoke from all the coal stoves that people use at the time, and you can just think of it like a wound that has a lot of damage in it and it's just oozing out all the dirt inside of it. That's what White City Jabavu looks like. So that's what the poet is saying here, that the people are trapped in their circumstances. Okay, now we're going to do question 2. So for that question, for question 1, to get 2 marks, what you need to do is either explain what I've just explained, that the people feel caught and are unable to escape their circumstances, or give any 2 relevant points to that statement of being caught like fish in a net. Okay, question 2 says, what is the effect of using its in line 22 in reference to the infant? So line 22 says its mother. So before that, the poet says that it was a mutilated corpse. Guys, you need to understand that a mutilated corpse is a dead body and it has been damaged. And remember, there were dogs that were fighting over this bundle. So this bundle was actually the baby that was left in there. So when the poet uses the word it means that it's not personal. It's something that is not human, right? So it doesn't have a name, it doesn't have a gender, it doesn't have an identity. So that is very important to that. And this is why the poet is not using it as a baby, is not giving it a name, or is not giving it a gender. We don't even know if it is a white child or a black child. All we know is that there was a baby in the bundle that the dogs were fighting over. So to answer this question right, all you need to do is saying that the poet is implying that this is not a personal thing, because there's no race, there's no gender, there's no identity, there's no name of the baby. Okay, then question 3 says refer to line 19, and line 19 says baby in the manger, and then the question says discuss the significance of the comparison between the infant and the baby in the manger. If you don't know this, baby in the manger simply means Jesus. So if you're familiar with your Bible, or if you go to church, you'll know that baby in the manger, or you actually read Christmas books or Christmas songs, you'll know that baby in the manger is Jesus. So now we need to discuss the comparison between this baby and Jesus. So this is simple, guys. Jesus was born in humble circumstances, and humble circumstances just generally means that he was born in a very difficult time and people were not accepting of him. Right, so this baby was also born in a very difficult time, in a very poor kind of community, and so the comparison here is that both babies were born in a very humble situation, but the difference here is that this baby, unlike Jesus, will never get to realize its full potential. So to get 3 marks for this, you need to explain that the baby is being compared to baby Jesus, and that both of them were born into humble circumstances, but unlike baby Jesus, this baby will never get to realize its full potential, and people do not worship this baby, and people do not know about this baby, and they will never know about it. Okay, and then the last question of this poem says, refers to line 22 and 25. Lines 22 and 25, I'm just going to read them again. It says, its mother had melted into the rays of the rising sun, her face glittering with innocence, and her heart as pure as untrampled dew. Then the question says, critically discuss how these lines contribute to the central idea of the poem. Okay, guys, this is very, very important. So, remember I said that this is a very sad poem, right? So basically we already know that the people from White City Java are poor, right? And they're living in a very unconditional kind of community. So here you can discuss that, first of all, the mother is innocent, right? And because of her circumstances and the effects that apartheid played in her life and in her community, she was in no way capable of taking care of this child. So what she did was she decided to get rid of the child because she was in no way ready for any maternal assistance to the baby. And that way you can get 3 marks for this. Or you can disagree altogether with what I'm saying and say that the mother is not innocent at all, and that her circumstances and her background and the fact that apartheid played a huge role in the poverty-stricken community she lives in does not mean that she needs to get rid of her baby. She's still a mother, and she still has capabilities of being a mother and taking care of the child. And for that, you will actually get 3 marks for that. And this entire poem is out of 10 marks. So by doing that, you will be doing absolutely great. And that is it for the first poem, and now we're going to do the second poem.